Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Health Discourse with Sakshi and Sushant. So, good morning, Sushant. How are you doing?
Morning, very well.
So,
So,
today
yeah.
our center of discussion is going to be about energy. So, how my curiosity here today is that how energy is produced in human body and what is the role of mitochondria in it?
Okay, so we have to first understand few basic things before we deep down into mitochondria and all the science behind energy utilization, right? So, in our body there are three different type of genes that are expressed, right? One is human genes, what we get from our parents, right? And what we generally go for a DNA testing, right? Other is the microbial genes, which again outpower human genes by 150 to 1, right? So 99% of genes that are expressed in our body are microbial, right? Then third is mitochondrial gene, right? Which is again found inside human cells, right? They and uh, so there are three different gene expression, and in order to understand our biology well, right? In order to understand what sort of fuel and nutrient we should feed our cells, our body, our organs, our microbiome with, we need to understand the interactions of these three different set of genes expression. So how the expression of genes, microbial genes expression is impacting your human genes expression, how microbial gene expression is expanding your mitochondrial gene expression, how microbial gene expression interact with or tied with mitochondrial gene expression and so on and so forth, right? So there are multiple of such interactions that again, you know, what you feed is to microbiome. A lot of these things uh, gives your body, your organs energy, vitamins, mineral nutrients, a lot of signaling pathways, the cellular communication happening, so this multiple things comes into play when we talk of energy or when we talk of, having fatigue and a lot of these issues which are related to your energy utilization or energy efficiency, right? So that's a basic everyone should understand, right? It's not so easy to figure out nutrition choices for your biology, right? Unlike you may find people telling you eat this, eat that, right? And without understanding your biology. So it's a very complex biological machinery. Our body is a very complex biological machinery. In fact, it's the most complex machine we've ever seen, right? And there are millions of interaction happening at every second, right? So essentially, we need to understand each and every interaction inside the body before we actually find out what is causing a problem, right? Again, energy before we understand, the mitochondria part, it is important to understand that, uh, why do we, you know, why do we, have fatigue or, or to make it very simple, if two people have uh, had COVID, right? And why one person uh, got rid of it within few days or within few weeks, and why the other one had to go to hospital, right? Or probably to fight for his life, right? So, it again goes down to a lot of inflammation inside the body, right? And that's basic of energy mobilization also, right? So if your body is undergoing inflammation, so if someone has type 2 diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular disease, or any other chronic disease, probably immune system is already fighting with uh, those inflammatory reactions or doing those inflammatory reactions, right? So it's all inflammation, right? And again, if someone gets attacked by COVID virus, probably, people think, okay, immune system gives up, right? And again, that's why people lost their lives to COVID, and that's why, you know, uh, government always told that people who have these lifestyle disorders should always go for vaccine, but that's not a discussion here, right? Uh, so coming on to energy, right? We know that mitochondria, again, what is mitochondria, right? So there are two parts to it, right? One we call is, you have to understand first that what is mitochondria. It's an ancient bacteria organelle. It's a single cell bacteria, right? Which got connected to mitochondria, and again, two parts is one is mitochondrial biogenesis, what we call as, it itself can recreate, reproduce itself, right? Uh, Depending upon the need of our body, our cells, right? So that is something which is missed out by a lot of people. Unlike cell division, which happens when we divide the cells, mitochondria is constantly recreating, reproducing, right? That is one of the other aspect is what we know that energy production. We generally resonate mitochondria with ATP, which is right? So what is mitochondria? Mitochondria is your energy powerhouse, energy generator of your cell, right? So sometimes, we actually you know, are dealing with some sort of demand, stress, lack of nutrients, inflammation, right? Oxidative stress. So we need that energy because when there is an inflammation, all the energy which we consume from foods are actually hijacked, you know, to actually take care of this inflammation, right? So kill this inflammation, immune cells hijack these energy sources to kill in to do inflammation to kill the pathogens or the you know, all these deal with all these diseases. So uh, again, if there inflammation, stress, oxidative stress, some demand, some lack of nutrients because of some lack in your biological processes, probably some dysregulation biological functions, probably you need more energy, right? And that's where mitochondria rise to the occasion, right? Uh, for that, right, we need to understand what is ATP? It is adenosine triphosphate, right? Which regulates your energy cycle. ATP is produced by your mitochondria, right? But for someone, if suppose you are dealing with some sort of fatigue, there has to be a clear messaging going to mitochondria that you're lacking some energy and your body needs some energy, right? So again, mitochondria can sense that that you are lacking energy or you need some help, right? And that's generally done through AMPK. So what we call is AMP to ATP. So AMP is adenosine monophosphate. ADP is adenosine diphosphate, and ATP is adenosine triphosphate, right? So that's all. So that's how mitochondria can sense it, but exactly to sense it needs to get a signal, information that your body, your particular cells needs energy, right? So if you are energetic, you're full energy, you have huge ATP. Once you go to ADP, adenosine diphosphate again. If you're getting your mitochondria is working well, it is producing energy, there is a mitochondrial biogenesis happening. So again, ADP gets sent to ATP, right? Otherwise, it further forms to AMP, and again, you are drained with energy. So I think that is clear, so ADP, AMP, ADP, ATP, right?
That's pretty interesting. And then what happens to those people who take supplements for fatigue? There are many supplements out there in the market, like NMN and I don't know,
So,
Malabo.
so
So
let me explain this, right? So mitochondria produce energy, right? Energy comes generally from fat or carb sources, right? So, so before, these sources are metabolized, oxidized, metabolized, and processed, right? These sources have to be transported to a mitochondria. Again, there are different transport channels or transport carriers which make sure that these energy sources reaches your mitochondria. For instance, if we talk of fats, right, long chain fatty acids, right, you may need L-carnitine, which is a transport mechanism for this fat to reach mitochondria. Similarly, if it's glucose, it's Krebs cycle or citric acid cycle or TCA cycle, probably, uh, you may need either glucose, fructose, or complex carbohydrates, which can actually feed that electronic transport chain. Again, there are a lot of transformation happening, which actually you know transports this energy source, either glucose or whatever it is, right, to your mitochondria again. So there are different sources, right? So someone may need L-carnitine, someone may need, polyphenols, different herbs, right? B vitamins, maybe, CoQ10. There are different supplements. So again, it has to be understood that what specific supplement your body needs. So it's a very it's not that easy to understand, and it's really shame that we end up consuming all these OTC supplements without understanding our biology, without understanding which supplement I need. So it may work for someone. So there's a guesswork. It works for someone. It does not work for majority of people, right? So people will have for instance, if you are taking a lot of L-carnitine because you think it's going to revitalize my energy, right? So you putting excess of it, it may trigger headache, jaw tension, your body do not or acetylcholine, or probably your body doesn't need that much choline, right? So again, you need to understand precisely how much of each food molecule or substrate your biology, your cells, your microbes need right now, right? So it is important to understand or decode your biology at a molecular level. So it's not about knowing which specific bacteria is there, or which is not there. It's about these biochemical signals, biochemical pathways, functions, interactions, communications happening right inside the body. That's like you and me communicate. There's a lot of cells and microbes in body organs communicate, right? So this is really important to understand this before we grab those supplements. And again, from a mitochondrial perspective, adding to the supplements thing, there's a master regulator of mitochondria, what we call as PGC1 alpha, which is a gene, again, which is a gene inside our body, probably. That's the expression of that genes changes when your body needs energy. It tells mitochondria to actually meet the requirement of our cells and provide the energy, right? And again, for actually, increasing mitochondrial biogenesis and making sure the mitochondria is actually functional, your PGC1 alpha gene's expression should be really, really high. It should be active. It should trigger mitochondria. And again, there are multiple ways and means to do it.
So, what would be your suggestion to people who are dealing with such issues? I mean, fatigue and let's say a lot of, this energy deficiency, and sometimes, and obviously, exercise performance is, I'm assuming that is also related with mitochondrial health, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, but that's a different discussion. Probably we'll have a different discussion for excess performance. But from this perspective, we end up, what is happening is when we're doing exercise or when we are having fatigue, what we generally do, we grab, probably we're sitting in office, we are having that fatigue, we are having that sleepy thing going on, and then we grab that coffee, right? Or
Dizziness, it's dizziness
yeah,
and that lack
yeah,
of concentration and
yeah.
focus. So,
Yeah, so we grab that coffee. That's a that's masking your symptoms, right? So when you have those symptoms, probably you wait for symptoms to appear, and then you grab something, right? You really need to understand before that symptom arises what is happening inside the body, right? So again, there are a number of supplements going on. So your nootropic supplements, there are performance category supplements, there are weight loss supplements, there are certain prebiotics, probiotics, and polyphenol supplements, and there are insulin category and multiples of supplements. So if you end up taking all those, probably you'll be consuming more than 50 plus capsules, right? Which would backfire in the sense that something you may be consuming in excess, which is again dysregulating your body. For example, I gave example of L-carnitine, right? You don't need that much of ammonia for one person. Someone needs, someone doesn't need, right? And again, a lot of these things would put pressure on your kidney and livers, and these supplements do have a lot of metals, right? Heavy metals, which can impact your kidney and liver functions, right? So first we need to understand from energy perspective, how do we increase the PGC1 alpha expression, right? So there are multiple ways to do it, right? There are multiple things we can do there. For someone, it needs to be done through polyphenol herbs, right? Someone needs CoQ10, someone needs you know probably a lot of these someone need vitamin B6 or B12, right? Vitamin C. Everyone would have a different requirement based on how their PGC1 alpha expression is going on, how their mitochondria is recreated, reproduced, or what is the interaction going on, the cellular communication going on, right? Again, so there are multiple things. So someone needs fish which is again found in strawberries, right? Someone we need NAD, right? So NAD plus, we know this NMN is doing a lot of discussion around that it can improve your biological age. It can actually trigger, your mitochondrial expressions. You can improve your energy. But again, NAD plus is a form of vitamin B3. So if someone has an high uric acid, probably it is harmful. So again, you cannot just go on taking NAD3 supplements, which is actually a lot of companies are selling those supplements, resveratrol and so again, for PGC1 alpha to be activated to do a lot of this mitochondrial expression, right? Triggering the telling the mitochondria to do a lot of these stuff, a lot of to give energy to cells, right? So there are different these food substrates which may be required again. For instance, if you need polyphenols, again, polyphenols, 90% of polyphenols are metabolized by your microbiome, right? So essentially, this is really important to understand that, everyone would have a different requirement based on, uh, the lot of these interaction communication happening inside the body. So you can't take NAT plus, or you can't take, just polyphenol, or you just can't take CoQ10 or L-carnitine, right? There are multiple things in play. And also, if your metabolic function is actually going very well, right? A lot of this overexpression of PGC1 alpha can actually lead to, overwork by mitochondria, which can lead to oxidative stress, right? So again, it can lead to a lot of release of free radicals, which can trigger oxidative stress. Again, oxidative stress is linked to a lot of multiple systemic health issues. So we need to understand probably if their metabolic function is going on well, if you take too much of these supplements, it can trigger oxidative stress, right? So again, some of these, I'll name some of more food, substrates which you can get from food. You don't need supplements. So here I'm telling you something very interesting. So nicotine, right? Nicotine is triggers the it activates your PGC1 alpha. Again, you don't. I don't mean you need to smoke, right? It's not about smoking is harmful. So nicotine you can get from various foods like tomatoes, right? Similarly, your solic acid you can easily get from thyme, oregano, right? Rosemary, apple, right? Cranberry juice. So there are multiple things. Again, you need to understand precisely what your cells, what your body needs right now. So that's what we do. We look at different functions, coordination of different biological pathways. We just don't look at what microbe is there. We look at various microbial functions, various interactions between microbes, what pathways they are activating, how a particular food or substrate would activate which pathway, whether it is inflammatory, pro-inflammatory. If it's pro-inflammatory, probably you need to eat less of that food. So they're all less of that supplement, and that forms basis of actually what do you call that's on basis of determining each precision supplement. So based on your different coordinated activities, different biological pathways going on inside your body, we can determine what supplement you need, how much you need right now. Again, what you need right now may not be required maybe after 3 months or 2 months, right?
I think that was a pretty interesting discussion here, and let us conclude this talk with a few words of wisdom.
Sure. First of all, do not fall for any of these OTC supplements. You can't go and grab an L-carnitine or a CoQ10 or a vitamin B12 or vitamin B6 or maybe Fistine or any of such supplements, right? You need to understand your body. You need to understand various communication happening, various pathways being activated, how your microbes are talking to your mitochondrial genes, how they're talking to human cells, right? Human genes, and there are multiple things at play. So you can't just go about it, just having oh, I have this fatigue going, let me take a vitamin B12, vitamin B6, or let me take a CoQ10, or probably, let me grab that NAD supplement. So understand your biology, before going for these OTC supplements.
So, thank you, Sushant, for such an intuitive discussion. We will be back with another episode soon.
Thank you. Bye bye.